Well, good afternoon, guys. We are back again. Michael and Israel from Bucks Island with another Tech Tuesday. Sorry we missed last week. We had some, did we have the technical glitches?
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Tuesday we had a technical glitch. We're going to try it Wednesday.
Which is ironic
Yeah.
that Tech Tuesday gets canceled for technical glitches, but
Yeah.
it wasn't boat technical issues.
Yeah, and then we were going to try to do it Wednesday, and I think Randy Howell came with Hobie,
Yes.
and we ended up doing some.
Yeah, we did some video with him. Yeah, Randy came and picked up his Hobie to take it back up to Gunnersville, and
So we decided just to do it the next week, which is now.
Yeah.
So
drop your questions in the comments, and we will get to them. I've got a couple avid questions I saw from the last one we did. We'll pull up. But guys, as always, we would much prefer to answer your questions right here, right now, or at least give you the best answer that we can. Service-wise,
busy.
It
just keeps being busy.
So, we seem to be on track as we go into our 14th fall. We've been through a mild winter and then a summer last week, and so
who knows
now
what next week?
Yeah, we might. So freezing, Halloween.
And then Halloween will be freezing.
So think about getting if you need winterizing work.
But that means supposedly the fish bite better when it's colder. The water, so we'll see.
Well, but you've been out getting fishing, so hey, Shane, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Definitely a plug. We've talked about it often, but even though they're slammed in service, if you need to get winterization done, they will do the best they can to prioritize, because obviously we understand that can cause some catastrophic damage. All right. So y'all aren't asking any questions, which is, I guess, nobody's got boat problems. So I know, Shane, you got a question to throw out there. Electronics, motor. How's your Avid doing? So with that, let me jump through a quick question. That's not it. I was looking for one in particular. Okay, y'all talk amongst yourselves. Well, we'll knock this one out real quick. So this was on an Avid. So the 21FS, which is the center console, can a swim ladder be added to the pontoon, which I assume he means the sponson that's on the back of the...
I don't know if they make... I know Avid doesn't make a ladder that will accommodate that particular spot. I know they're... if I remember correctly...
Does the 21 have a sponson? I can't even... It's the 19 that has the actual sponson back there. The 21. No,
it's hard to keep up. Let's just assume it does have one. I don't think they make a ladder that fits that particular part. I know if it didn't have that, you could put the ladder there. But there are some other options if you're just wanting an emergency ladder. Now, if your wife is wanting a ladder to swim and get up on, this might not be an option. But they do make a piece that bolts to where the engine hooks up, the two bolts on the side, and you can put a flip down ladder off of that. And we have the brackets in stock. We may or may not have to order the ladder that goes with that. But
that's I know it seems like they've been through, as they developed those boats, getting the brackets to work with the power poles and now the Minn Kota and all that kind of stuff. But and then trying to squeeze the ladder back there, I guess you climb up a Raptor.
Good.
Good.
It'd be nice if they made them strong enough. They put like a little seat on them, and you guys.
You put the kids on there and raise the kids up. Yeah. All right. So Shane, you got a Speedo stuck on the Avid.
Yep. Sounds like you got a piece of wood or some clay in there. So, I hate speedometers. Have I ever told you that?
I believe we've had this discussion. I don't.
I think since they came out with GPS speedometers, or
Yeah, I mean,
because they're not accurate anyway, they're useless. I think they just feel like they need to put them in there because there's a spot on the dash that will take one.
None of the pontoons that we sell
No.
come with them anymore. I don't know in the
Skeeter
history.
quit putting them. They quit putting them in finally.
Yeah. So yeah, I know there's been some issues.
And then you get, then there's another issue with even having a working speedometer, because people will tell me, "Hey, my GPS says I'm going 62, but my speedometer says I'm going 82."
Well, you got a really good tailwind and.
Or some other random number,
Yeah,
I'm like, it's there may be some debris in it. It's not going to be that accurate anyway, just because it's taking water out of the river and trying to make pressure in a.
Well, I mean, from a navigation standpoint, it's really, I mean, unless you're going to take that, and this I can geek out on this because it's what I used to do for a living. Only I did it with airplanes. Same concept with a pedostatic system on an airplane. It's giving you relative speed based on the water. It's not accounting for any current drift, any wind. So your speed over ground, they're actually getting off your GPS, which is, that's all you really need. And I suppose on the pontoons, even if you don't have GPS, you're either going fast enough or too fast.
Yeah. And I get it. It's nice that if it's on there, it works. I wish they'd just quit putting them on.
That would be.
Then the problem is completely solved.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one right there.
Yeah. All right. So last year I bought a 21 FS. Again, that's the center console Avid. From us, it came with the Minn Kota Power Drive, 24 volt, 70 pound thrust. Last week I purchased an 80 pound thrust Altera. Best I could tell, everything installed was good. Weekend ran speed 7. The trolling motor would shut off, but I think at 6.5, it'd run no problems.
Okay.
Called Minn Kota, and they said that normally when they see this problem, it's the plug.
Yeah. Or it could be a loose battery connection. So typically, what I see a lot of is somebody will have like the power drive is it takes less power to really push that motor, and there's less electronics even in it, or just a manual trolling motor, just a 4-track or something like that, or even an Edge, or whichever one you have. They're less problematic when it comes to connections. So my suggestion to everybody, not everybody wants to do this, but it's the best thing to do for these, whether it's the Garmin like Shane's got, the Force, and the Minn Kota Ultrax or Altera, whatever it is. If it's something that relies on GPS to do things and it has a computer board that's pretty sophisticated, you want to do direct power. So instead of having a plug, you want to connect those with a good crimp connector or something like that, and it'll be a lot more reliable. So maybe something this guy wants to do in the future, and that typically it's just like having a loose battery connection. If you have a loose battery connection on one of these trolling motors, it'll do all kinds of weird stuff. And a lot of people don't realize too that when we put a battery in a boat and tighten everything down, most of that stuff is tinned. It's copper with a tin coating on it, and the washers and all that stuff. And a lot of times you have connectors that are stacked on top of each other that are real thin. Once we tighten those down, several months later, they're going to work themselves loose because that metal is so soft, the vibration actually will whittle it down.
Yeah.
And you have to go back in there and tighten them again. So something to consider when you're boating. Like once every couple of months, do a systems check. Grab the wire, pull on it like this, and see if it wiggles. If it wiggles, it's time to tighten it back down again.
Well, and I mean to that point too, that point on the bow is moving about as more than any other point on the boat. So it's taking the brunt of the bouncing
and plugs. The style plugs they have these days. There's some out there that are really nice. I know Battery Tender makes a good plug where you can unplug and plug your trolling motor in. It's got like an RC style connector where there's like a bunch of, you know what I'm talking about, a bunch of little fins on it, and it pushes in and squeezes in. As long as it doesn't get any corrosion, and they're usually gold plated, so that's a good alternative. But for the most part, it's better just to have a direct, nice sealed connection.
Okay.
And some people want to be able to take the trolling motor off and on if it's got on a slide bracket, but you have to kind of choose what you want to deal with.
All right. Well, again, guys, if you got a question, make sure you're dropping it in, click into our actual live. So if you're in a group or something like that and you see this as a share, don't just drop it on the comments there. You got to click.
We're not ignoring you.
Yeah, I promise we're not ignoring you. So, I know you guys have got a question. We're on a dry spell.
Well, we're doing we can tell them about my kayak project. We're going to be doing a Torpedo install on it.
Yeah, so I mean, if y'all guys, you guys want to geek out on some kayak stuff, yeah, next week we got Jeff Little from Torpedo is coming in and going to shoot some video and do an 1103 install. Foot pedals, you're gonna be like 6.5, 7 miles an hour on your Hobie, your Prangler.
I get back faster because I fish all the way on my way out and on the way in. But if it gets late and you want to get in, I'll blow it up.
Well, then the next thing's you talking about being out late. Little LED lighting.
Already on there.
All right.
I guess we got nav lights.
I guess we need to probably shoot a video.
I need to do a video. I need to clean it up and we'll get some of my tackle off of it. It was junky. It got leaves in it right now because I've been under trees.
Well, that's good. All right. Well, let's go with this. This was a generic-ish. What's everyone's opinion on aftermarket starters for the this one's for Yamahas in particular?
Well, I mean, there's ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. You remember that commercial, Dr. Pepper?
Oh yeah.
I guess, yeah. Well, there's nothing like the real thing. Most of the starters, Yamaha starters, are going to be made in Japan. Pretty high quality. They have nimble fingers. They do good work. So I found that the Chinese brands, they're going to be made with cheap components, cheap materials. So they'll work for a while, but you usually see about maybe a year out of them, 2 at the most. The Yamaha ones, I usually see almost a lifetime out of those. I've got motor engines that are 25 years old. I've had come through here still with original starters. I will say this, that why did your starter go out? I would question that. If it's salt water, that might just be a corrosive issue. But if you've had a starter failure, you may want to see why it failed. Because a lot of times, I put a brand new engine on a guy's boat. He had a starter failure on his previous motor recently, but he was having other issues with the engine, so he decided to repower. We put a new engine on it, and he took it out. Within a couple of hours, his starter was burnt up, which was odd. Brought it back in, and we looked at everything, didn't see anything crazy. Put him a new starter on there. He called me the next Saturday, stranded on the water. My starter's bad again. And so, and we had urged this guy even before we did the repower to change all of his controls because I like just putting new stuff in there. Well, it turned out the key switch was when he was going down the lake, the key switch was malfunctioning, engaging the starter, and he was running that starter at 6,000 RPM. And it was just burning that sucker to a crisp. So, of course, we did the right thing. I went ahead and put him a new starter on with the contingency that he would put a new control box in. And he did it and never heard from him again.
Nice.
So keep that in mind when you're dealing with starters. Sometimes a starter failure can be, an actual causation by something else.
Yeah. So what I'm taking away from this is that starters are particularly in the Yamaha, is pretty reliable.
They are very reliable. Very reliable.
Well, cool.
Now, I will say this: if you have a running issue and you sit there and wind on that starter, I don't care who makes it, you're gonna burn it up. because they get hot quick, and those armatures actually are welded. Parts are welded, with heat, like I guess an arc weld. And if you get them too hot, those welds will break apart and it stops functioning. So.
All right, Shane. That's why I was clicking over here and looking to see. I have not seen a message from you. I will dive through and look and see. I don't know if you know anything about Yamaha motor recalls.
If you've got the newer style Callan, there could be a recall on it. If you don't, if you've got the older style Callan, you do not have the recall that I'm thinking of. I can't remember what year his is.
Well, yeah, I'll jump in there. I don't know. Angela may not have seen it come into the system, but we'll take a look and see. But I think Shane, yours is the older. It's like the year before the new Callan.
Yeah, because the new Callan one has a different computer system on it, and you can literally hit the trim button, and it'll turn your gauges on and turn the computer on. It's not supposed to crank or anything. So so I think that's part of what was going on with that system. It was turning the injectors on when people did that. So if somebody sat there and just hit the trim button and it turned off, hit the trim button, it turned off, hit the trim button, and just kept doing that, and went to crank their motor, it would have built up so much fuel in there, it could probably combust and blow the intakes off of it, which could cause.
That sounds bad.
Some problems, yeah. So,
I mean, once might be entertaining,
yeah.
But still.
And so now they've made it to where when you hit the trim switch, the injectors don't cycle, because they do that to clean the injectors, just to get any debris off of them before things start blowing up in there.
All right.
Combusting, I guess I should say.
All right, guys. Well, here's the last one that I got. General question: 2014 21-foot center console with a 150 Yamaha. Lightly used, 140 hours in salt water. Just noticed my fuse holders on my trolling motor batteries and my house battery are brittle, basically crumbling apart. The boat is stored in my garage with the hatches open. I'm assuming the batteries are off-gassing, causing the damage. I'll have to replace all the fuse holders. What can I do to prevent future damage?
If it's salt water, I would be more likely to blame it on the salt air than the gas off the battery. No, if it's green and puffed up like there's been acid on it itself, like sometimes some of these batteries, if they go bad, they'll actually boil, and the acid will come out as a liquid. Usually the vapors will go away. But if it comes out as a liquid, it will build up on the post. It can do that and cause corrosion. So, but if it's just they're corroded and crumbling apart and don't have a big buildup of like acid material, then more than likely it's the environment, not necessarily the battery. So,
gotcha.
The only thing you can do to prevent that in the future when you put new stuff on is to put a protective covering over that's acid resistant if it's the acid. Otherwise, a light coating of that stuff you buy at auto parts store that's kind of red that you can spray your batteries with.
Yeah.
That'll prevent the salt air and salt water from corroding it.
Well, I know we don't deal with the salt too much around here,
Thank
but you want to hand me that Vixen right over there? This is one thing, because this has been a hot item that a lot of folks have asked about. But we just gave this away with the kayak tournament that just ended from September. But for you fishermen, Reaction Innovation Vixens, we've got a bunch of them in stock.
Several colors.
Yeah, several
including
colors.
Chrome.
So they've been flying out of here. So I've been requested to make a special plug and get it out there for everybody to know that we've got Vixens in stocks. So, and I think Dano just picked up a couple extra colors to add to the shelf as well. So
and we ship.
Yeah.
Oh, so
yeah.
if you're Timbuktu,
yep,
we can ship it to you.
We absolutely can. But yeah, we so for you guys, if you've been thinking about kayaks, I'll make a plug. Monthly tournaments. Gave away the Vixen and a couple frogs. So even for the guys that didn't win the tournament, a couple of them are walking away with. Well, shoot, that Vixen cost more than the entry fees. So
there you go.
But anyways, all right, guys. If
one other thing, we are starting to carry catch boards.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Yeah, we've ordered those. So
Sweet.
if you do kayak fish, you know, we're going to start getting the boards in that are tournament regulated, so you can actually use them in tournaments.
Nice.
And the tags and the lanyards or whatever, the tethers. I guess that's what they call them, tethers.
All right, well, guys, if y'all don't have any other questions, then we're gonna go finish out 4 o'clock. Finish out the day, get what done we can, and then get out of here. You gonna go fishing this evening?
Probably not. I got sick people at home. I gotta go.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I gotta go there. Then
I got open house. So middle school open house, pumped.
Yeah.
But no, it'll be fun. But guys, hope y'all have a great afternoon, a great evening. If you do come up with some questions, drop in the comments. Like we did this week, we'll try and get to them. I'd rather do them in real time. So make a list. And if you've got some ideas of topics, how about we'll just throw that out there in general. If you've got some topical ideas, if you want us to kind of break it down and cover electronics or motors, I don't know, whatever, deck lids, just throw us some topics out there and maybe we can prepare some stuff if y'all don't have anything right off the top of your head. So guys, y'all have a great evening and we'll talk to you in the next one. See ya.